Let's do it.
If you're sitting here watching this stream today, you cannot underestimate how ahead of the curve you are right now.
Bitcoin looks tired. Altcoins look hungry.
I'm just not quite sure that Bitcoin has any more sauce.
I still think this thing is really worth a lot more than it is.
This stuff's spooky, man. These chaos PRZs are intense.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Solana is highly performant and has the team with the experience to support it.
$4,800 Ethereum. That's a big move here.
Whatever you do, always play from a position of strength. There he is. Okay, got my sound on. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back. It's DeltaFi Wednesdays with Rob Levy and at Random Task 555 RT. Going by RT these days. How you doing, Rob?
Doing good. Feeling good. Catching some red waves here the last few hours, but I'm feeling good.
Yeah, good. I feel like when you say like, oh, how's it going? I'm good. Despite. It's like a good despite thing. The market is not being easy. Look, we've been trending up for what now? Like 5 days. So we get, it's a fat red candle right now. It's not the one you want to see ever. But I don't think it's, I don't think it's as gloomy as it should be. Look, we came into resistance. We're going to talk about it today. I'm looking for a higher low. That's what I was looking for when we made the first low. And that higher low can't come in up here. It has to come in down below a little bit. So, I don't know. I did a couple of little trades this week. Very trying to be low time frame. If it gets into profit and it hits resistance, I'm like, cool, I'm out. I'm not short at the moment. But I might be later if we bounce back up on weakness. Other than that, there's big news that just dropped. I think you should talk about it because you're more into the wormhole stuff. I've used it once. It was really confusing and awful, and then it was a little better. And I used it once. They just got hacked or exploited for 80,000 Ethereum, roughly $220 to $250 million worth of Ethereum, or WETH, was minted. And so I guess people that want to redeem to get back over the bridge, they're going to be like, wait, the fuck, So they're printing fake WETH. Fake Ethereum. Have you heard anything about that? What's the latest? I know that the team has offered a bounty, $10 million. Be our friends. Give us our money back, please.
Yeah, they did. They sent a message to the white hat.
Yeah.
We'll see if he's
hopefully white hat. Yeah, the color of the hat is yet to be there. I've got a black hat on just for nostalgia.
Yeah.
I don't think I could have a hat. I can't develop or hack or do anything. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's the problem. I think this hacker will take the bounty.
I actually get that vibe too. I don't know why.
Well, what's the other choice? I mean, we're getting more and more into an age where this shit gets flagged as hack funds and all this, and it's very difficult to get that into some sort of currency you can exit with.
Yeah, what are you going to do with it? Well, I thought it was kind of funny. The 2016 Bitfinex hack, Bitcoin moved last week.
Yeah,
it's just it's world news, right? Everyone's like, oh, the hacker's moving some wallets. It's like everyone's watching, bro. When are you gonna, what are you gonna do with that? And if you try to pay someone with it, then they're flagged. So I don't know. I thought it was kind of funny, the idea that like, what if somebody sent tainted Bitcoin to like 1 million addresses? Just like take 0.0005 of that Bitfinex hack Bitcoin and just put it in everyone's wallet, and now everyone's just under scrutiny, like just to fuck around. I don't know.
Yeah,
this is weird anti-fragile discussions coming up. So wormhole, not good. ETH, we're gonna take a look. Let's just do it now. Fuck it, we'll do it live. Let's get to the charts. I like to have something to look at while we hear from you mostly. Today's really your day.
Oh, it's our day, buddy.
I know, but I get my own day. So I feel like when you're here, more and more I'm trying to remind myself to like tap into my my listening and hear from you. But what are you seeing in the market? I mean, the news is the news. Facebook, all that shit. Maybe talk to us about TradFi. My
Yeah, I
TradFi
mean,
bro.
TradFi was hanging in there. It bounced, off the lows pretty sharply. I mean, let's be honest.
That's a good bounce.
Bitcoin and the crypto in general took a much bigger beating than TradFi markets for the last month. So, I'm not bearish Bitcoin here. Bottom line, like this idea of the tightening monetary policy that's going to happen, the rates going up, and the potential shrinking of the balance sheet. Like, I think this is a lot of talk, a lot of the Fed trying to get expectations into the market so that the market does its thing. But bottom line is, the worse things get, like, the less likely they're going to be able to tighten, which means, extend the easy money policy. It's not just going to be that easy for them to tighten, and we're entering this new regime. That's my personal thinking. I do believe also, like, there's been some big spot buyers of Bitcoin.
I saw that. I saw your tweet actually.
Yeah, it's going into these whale wallets, wallets with over 1,000 Bitcoin or 100 Bitcoin. And the strong hands are accumulating. And it's just one of those scarce assets where if enough big money wants to accumulate it, there's just not enough to go around. It
is weirdly illiquid for such a liquid coin.
Well, it should be. And eventually there's only, people who want coins to put in cold storage. There's just not going to be enough coins to go around. And that I think is going to really continue to kick in. And, I'm expecting Bitcoin to kind of decorrelate it at some point again soon, and not just follow the NASDAQ, right? Like, Facebook and the NASDAQ are down after the U.S. market closes at 4 p.m. Eastern time. And then
it's silly. Let's take a look. Facebook is not showing up. Well, it is showing up. Like, you don't see the candle because it's after hours. Post market, which I always joke about, like, is still beyond me. Like, okay, we're gonna close the markets except for you fucking guys. You guys can trade it because you're special, and you can, when the retail wakes up, they're screwed. I mean, let's have a chat about that.
Well, retail can trade it. It's just you're not getting any good data on it. But
yeah, like, it just seems like I'm sitting here. I'd like to trade it, sir. No, you need special permission, but it's closed, but it's open, but it's closed. Like, it's such a fucking scam. I hate TradFi. It's just fugazi. Give me that 24/7 juice.
You can
gateways.
trade this stuff. I think till 7 p.m. Eastern is when, like, if you went on your
like Quest Trade, I heard, has after hours trading.
Yeah,
but my IB does not. My IB is just like, go fuck yourself. We're closed. I'm like,
really?
But I can see you trading.
Interactive brokers?
I swear to God. Yeah, I might have to, like, buy something to get that access. But
no,
because it was, I mean, maybe certain things trade after hours and certain things don't. But I went on there to, like, sell a stock because I was on the phone, and then I was like, oh, it's 4:30, it's closed, and I was just remember thinking, like, God damn it. That was months and months ago. But
you can trade that shit.
Okay, well, I'm a noob, and I feel like I can't because it's not made easy for me. What the hell's the point of after hours? Just have the market be open. I don't know.
Yeah.
It seems silly. But look, this is how far it's dropped. $22 after hours. Can trade after hours, everyone. Yeah, so Pia Cambier is pointing out what I already know, which is that there is ways to do what I feel like I can't do. That's about how much I've looked into it. I just look at it and I say, pre, post, shut up. Give me that. I was born in crypto, and every time I go trade stocks, I just... get lost. Actually, I did pick up 2 stocks we'll talk about today. We're going to show my stock picks. Just kidding. But look, Facebook, 1 stock, and it's like hitting news now. People are like, Wormhole, Facebook, crypto should sell off. Like, it's a very sensitive market right now. I love this squiggly. I'm going to leave it up here for fun. Hope it doesn't get invalidated too soon. But yeah, I really love an upswing here. This is my best case scenario for 2022. That's it. That's why it's there. We don't need to look at it every day, but this is the higher low I'm looking for Ethereum. And that's the thing. Like I had a long setup on low time frames down here, got out of it. It was a nice little trade, but like for the swing to get a reversal here, which I think is likely, either that or just another final puke. But I think this higher low is where I want to see sentiment to get extremely bearish. I don't want people talking about how they're all going to buy this dip. That's not usually a good sign. Usually it's like as we come into it, everyone's selling, getting prepared for the higher lows, and then we just never get them. And that's my higher low. That's my long. That's my setup. I don't think it's the perfect one, but it's one I'm willing to take a shot on. I've seen better. I've seen hotter, but I'm willing to, dip the toe. So that's kind of all I'm focused on right now during this really weird, you can see it here. You can see it here on Bitcoin too. I was thinking, okay, I can long a higher low, or I can. I was looking for a little short in there today. Bigger short up here if I want to be a shorter, or it's like these higher lows down in here. So we'll see. Yeah. But yeah, that's really all I'm looking at. I'm not looking at too many altcoins. The market's kind of boring to me right now because high time frame, I'm waiting for a lot of stuff. And I feel like I'm going to be waiting a long time. So I've been playing some Age of Empires 4. How about you? How are you passing the time? I know you guys are grinding on Hxro and stuff, Hero Network.
Yeah, we're working, man. We're just at the office grinding. That's for sure. But things are moving forward. I mean, when you're building stuff, it doesn't bull market, bear market doesn't really matter. But you can tell, like, this is an emotional market. I mean, all around. Like there is a lot of fuel out there that's getting people fired up.
Yeah.
People are fired up about so much stuff right now.
Very sensitive.
I'm not really closely following this Joe Rogan stuff with the Spotify, and people are pissed. And I watched like a couple minutes of what he came on and said. Like, it's not that he's an anti-vax type of thing. He brings on like some of the top doctors, most knowledgeable in their field. Like, yeah. And he's getting absolutely skewered for bringing people on to give their opinion. And I don't know. All I see is people up in arms everywhere, like about everything. It's just. Is
there like a moon cycle for this year or something? Are we in some part of some solar system right now that's just like, yes, this is the year of the angry birds? Because like that's the vibe I'm getting on a global scale as well. I try to stay away from the news. I did watch the Joe Rogan 10-minute take, and everything he said was just kind of reasonable and apologetic even. So he wasn't just being a dick and standing his ground. He was like, yeah, I could do better. Yeah. My audience snuck up on me and I don't have any idea how to wield this kind of power, and I just want to chat with people, and I could do better. Thanks for watching. Like, it was very fucking reasonable. So if you're still mad at him, I think you're maybe off the deep end.
The one thing, like, honestly, and I have to control myself, but I've never been more bullish of Bitcoin. It's the craziest
fucking
thing.
Love you, man. We got to spend more time together just for the vibe. Like, I feel you, but tell me.
Every little bit about what it represents. Like, nothing has changed, and to get scared off on a low time frame about the Fed gonna raise and this monetary policy the last 13 years is gonna reverse. Like, the damage is done. Like, this pattern, whatever we're gonna walk into with respect to fiat currency, sovereign currency, and Bitcoin and harder assets, like everything that's happening, I'm so much more bullish. It's crazy. And like, bottom line is make sure that you're not a forced seller in this market, and use these weak times to buy more of the shit that you really feel the strongest about. Like,
or I'm going to come in caveat, or prepare yourself to just be better the next time the good times are back, because you can do two things. You can buy dips if you don't have the ability to do that, which admittedly a lot of us don't. Or maybe we already did last week. Just do something, buy the dip on your goddamn self.
But the bottom line here is, this is what I'm trying to tell some of my friends. Like, oh, I think it's gonna, March is gonna be ugly because that's when they're gonna start. And I'm like, well, first off, all this shit is forward looking anyway.
Yes.
Don't think just because March is the first hike that all of a sudden the shit's gonna, crater. Then what do you think's been going on? The market's pricing in March, pricing in May, pricing in September, pricing in December. Like, it doesn't mean that's when, like, okay,
it starts now. Yeah.
The bottom line is, if you think Bitcoin's going down to 28,000, 30,000, 24,000, great. But it doesn't mean you're going to get filled on your whole stack down there. Like, you sprinkle the bids from here down to 28. I mean, that's what I'm telling people. It doesn't mean you're going to go, like, use all your dry powder here and buy in just because you're so fucking bullish, even though, like, I am. In the end, it's not going to matter if you bought $34,000 Bitcoin, $28,000 Bitcoin, or $48,000 Bitcoin when the shit's $250,000 per coin.
Yeah.
$500. Like,
what?
I'm thinking out in the future. The dollar, the euro, the yen, in terms of what Bitcoin represents, they don't stand a chance. I think the whole idea of borderless currency, everything about decentralization and no centralized institution running this thing. No one can govern themselves, these countries. It's like the government shit everywhere it's laughable. I mean, you look what's happening in Canada, you look here, China, obviously, Russia, those are more.
What is happening in Canada? I actually haven't checked. Are we doing anything lately?
I don't know, but
apparently we suck. I don't know. That's all I hear.
Big trucker strikes. Your head guy had to go in hiding because he's getting
really
verbally.
Shit. I live in a bubble that does not include world politics for like 99%. Like, I don't look at any of that. I did catch like a trucker video on Twitter, but I thought that was funny. It was like a rave. They were just like poof, 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 right out front of like what do you call it, House of Commons or whatever it is. I'm out to lunch when it comes to Canada's.
Yeah, Canadians aren't too happy right now. You're protesting shit, which, I mean, people are not thrilled.
I don't leave my house. Am I just like I don't know.
This is so, dude, I've never been more bullish of Bitcoin. And it's not just Bitcoin, but Bitcoin, when it comes to like store of value, like protecting your wealth, I think there's nothing like it. But even like, dude, the whole NFT Web3 shit, that's going to explode in value. Like, pick your winners. Get on board, right? Like,
I'm with you there. I think GameFi is a no-brainer. As I'm getting back into gaming, I'm like, damn, I could be getting paid for this. It's a no-brainer. I'll play the game that pays me. Yeah. And here's the thing. We're getting a lot of trash, cash grab, GameFi stuff coming in right now because, market number go up and they were starting building. But there's going to be like top game studios in the world that are applying ways, and they'll still make money. Right, that's the thing. It's like, Fortnite, we want to make all the money. Well, look, Epic Games, you can still make money. Just give 10 cents per kill to like all the little pukes, like whatever. I think it's going to blow up. But look, 5 years, right? 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. That's the kind of scale for this type of development, in my humble opinion. Now, look at this. I know you like my ARC. You talked about it last week. You said, look, this thing looks like it's placed on there. I swear to God, you just... you draw it from way back here, and it's living in there. It's one of these, and it spits it out, and it's there now. And look at this thing. I've been watching. This is the 3-day chart, and it's stuck in this little arc. I love it. And then all the lower time frame stuff that was going on did look tired as shit, and I thought, okay, let's get that higher low. Any wicks below here for me, not just on this chart, but like. Any wicks below here on a 3-day, I just want it to close back inside, and then we'll get up there. That's my hope. That's my plan. I think there's a bigger resistance here. It matches a lot of other stuff. So I'm still of the mind that my next setup will be something like that.
Yeah.
I just thought it'd be kind of cute to point out that this thing seems to want to just live inside this arc, which doesn't always do, but it's fun right now.
Yeah, I'm
So Bitcoin dominance, taking a breather. As we suspected, it might. I think a higher low on that could be really juicy if you're a Bitcoin bull and we go full macro on the Bitcoin. What else we got? ETH BTC, local reload zone, pulling up a little bit. Maybe making a lower high here to keep going down. We'll see.
Yeah. But do you understand, like, do you have that same feeling of why things that are unfolding everywhere are just inherently, like, bullish of the Bitcoin thesis?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a little bit like The Big Short to me, right? You go to that conference in Vegas with Steve Carell and the homies, and they all just look around and they're like, oh, dear God, short everything. Like, and that's a little bit about how you feel if your thesis is that, global monetary this and dollars this, it's going to all starting to fall apart. And like you say, the world's just kind of getting angry and then setting the stage for Bitcoin becoming a 1%, reserve asset in the world, or 5%. And those numbers, when you get into 1 to 5 globally, it's big, 250 plus K Bitcoin. I see it. I get the vibes too. Look, I'm a little bit down in the sense of like, I really want to fucking load AVAX. Like, I really want. Like, AVAX is the thing through the bear that I'm just going to be like, that's the only thing I care about. If I can just increase my AVAX position out into the next wave, that's my top priority. And it's not even close. It's like best case, it's like, okay, higher low, and then maybe we're up, and then it's like, I just don't see that happening. I think it's going to be a lot more painful, a full fucking, and so I'm a little bored of that. But when it comes to Bitcoin, the majors, I really do. I have a midterm swing kind of idea that I feel long. I did something I didn't do for over a year last week. I bought some Bitcoin and I moved it into a hardware wallet. I just got the fuck out of here. I stashed some. I decided I'm not going to overthink it. I'm going to take this little bite and I'm just going to, like you say, in a couple of years, it won't matter if I nailed it. And I like to try to nail things, right? Like I like to try to pick my levels, but I just said, look, this is good enough for me. 88% off the July, peak to valley. So
yeah. You sniped one. And honestly, that's it. In 5 years, you're not going to care if you bought 37s or 33s or 28s when the shit is.
But I am going to care if I just don't pick any up because I'm trying to find a perfect level and then I get distracted like I always do. And I find some altcoins and I'm just a trader. I do want to have some hodlerness. And this week, not this chart. This chart is just chile. Is the big, no, Bitcoin. There's one.
It looks like a fucking rejection off the trend line right here. I mean, it doesn't.
It's this here. This trend line was like I was like 88.6 intersecting with that trend line. I just said, okay, that's a great DCA spot. It was also a Monday morning with bullish divergence on all the 4 hours, everything dumping. Meanwhile, like every major index was coming into this like massive throwback level. I just thought, okay, I can buy Bitcoin here for the long haul, and we'll see. We'll see if I have to average down. We'll see if I have to average up, but feels good to just get a little piece.
I mean, look what the Matador just posted in the chat.
The Matador.
Bored Ape Yacht Club and what is it, MAYC? I don't even know that one.
Oh, interesting.
Did more in sales on OpenSea, 495 million, than the global movie industry did at the box office, 482 million.
That's intense.
If we're
just
really,
two.
Like, if you're bearish, if you are bearish like NFTs, Web3, all that stuff, you're not going to make it. And if you don't realize that so much more value is going to be created there than exists currently over the next 1, 2, 5, 10 years, I think that's the biggest layup that we're facing right now in front of us. As much as like maybe even more than just the Bitcoin thing. I mean, I'm so wildly bullish of that just for pure financial wealth preservation. But I mean, you can't look at this and not be bullish and optimistic about what's ahead. Like stop crying about short-term moves and get positioned properly for what's taking place right in front of us. And Facebook, who rebranded to Meta, like probably because they know that their normal Web 2 Facebook business is going to face some really tough competition here, and they want to position for it. So Facebook down 25% after the close, like whatever. That's their past stuff. We know
Buy
where
the
they're.
dip. I kind of want to buy the dip on that metaverse.
Facebook's gonna.
Not really.
I don't know. Are they going to see the vision better than others, or are you better off investing in OpenSea or other things that Facebook's going to have to try to buy?
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what's cool about the one thing I think is cool about Facebook in their metaverse is just like it's going to be so well funded. I mean, what was the number of devs they're hiring? Like something like 10,000 developers that they want to hire to build that thing.
Where Facebook?
At Facebook, yeah, they're just like, we're just going to go ahead and throw $25 billion, like whatever it was. It's just, I think the quality of it's going to be pretty cool. Is it just going to be this weird closed system, centralized, whatever? Probably. That's the fear. Crypto hates centralized stuff. But the thing you have to remember, and I was thinking about this today, I was looking at this other project or something, and it's CeFi, and it's like centralized DeFi, centralized finance. And somebody's like, oh yeah, well, and they were trying to excuse it. I said, no, it doesn't mean it's bad. I mean, there's a ton of people in the world, I would say more people in the world actually, that do not want to be their own bank. They do not want the responsibility of messing up a number and losing their life savings, losing their house, whatever it is. People want insurance. They want people to manage their shit for them. They're lazy. That's the status quo. I think the majority. So if you're offering something that's, I think it's good to have decentralized finance. I love it. Personally, I'm a fan. I like that stuff. But there's going to be some really big winners that just find the value that we love about DeFi and centralize it and add that cozy bank white glove treatment to it, I think.
Yeah.
So Facebook Metaverse might do that. And people won't give a shit what's going on in the back end. They'll just want the smoothest, best user experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm excited for that just because I know they're going to, it's going to bang. Like whatever they make 5 years from now, it's just going to be like pretty sick. Can that, little game studio that just raised $5 million for its metaverse compete? It's going to be interesting.
Takes one banger, dude.
Yeah, I've got my hands in many potential bangers. Trust me. We did a lot of investing in GameFi in the last year, but I'm not convinced that just because Facebook things, Meta and centralized, we're in a very weird little bubble, right? Where everyone's like, Meta, cringe. But on the whole, I think they still they got 1 billion users and they'll be around. Yeah. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to see. Although all the weird metaverse shit that they've posted so far is just really cringy and awkward. And frankly, I don't like virtual reality. I'm a boomer. I get sick. So.
Well, you better get used to it. That's the way I want to be, brother.
I'm going to skip it. I'm going to just wait till I can plug in like Black Mirror.
We're going to be hanging out. Yeah, we're going to be chilling on the couch next to one another. What do you watch up there? Just hockey, right?
Well, hockey. I've been watching Ozark lately. My lady hadn't seen it, so we've just been binging that for a few weeks to get ready for season 4, which we're like 2 episodes away from. We're gonna watch them tonight, and then I'm back caught up, and I can. What?
Some binging with the wife on Yellowstone. Did you catch any of that?
I haven't heard of that actually. No, that's a lie. Someone mentioned it to me recently. Okay, Yellowstone. I think I have to check you out. We were discussing yesterday what we're going to watch next. I think I'm going to take a break though. I can't do 2, 3, 4 hours of TV shit a night. I just get antsy, but we've been doing it for 2 weeks now.
I'll tell you what. I made a tweet yesterday.
No spoilers in the chat, guys. Sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Exactly. I made a tweet yesterday, and it was some serious irony I was feeling was watching PayPal. PayPal had a shitty earnings report, and meanwhile, I was all jazzed up about SolanaPay because Jeremy Allaire from USDC, they come out with SolanaPay, and it's so cheap and it's so good that I just I felt that this is a day where it is kind of like the future meets the past, and PayPal is to me idiotic for not just building on SolanaPay, Visa, all these people, they're kind of their margins are about to get absolutely annihilated. It reminds me of when I was trading in the pit, and then there was the electronic markets, right? Like the efficiencies of technology are going to collapse those 1.75%, 3% fees for charging something at a store. You got to be out of your mind. Like little small businesses to save 1.5%, 3% of their sales that they're like giving away to these credit card companies. Like Solana Pay got me jazzed up. And I think like we're going to see that this sort of protocol, it's going to change the way things happen. Like, honestly, we're going to see in Solana, it caught a bid from it. Solana's been under pressure. Obviously, it was one of the biggest gainers last year, and it has come under pressure. I think a lot of it is kind of some forced sales or sales for tax purposes, sales for some funds that were in damn early and had redemptions from some LPs, and they didn't care. They were going to sell, and once it came down from 250 to 180, like they were selling that thing just to get cash. But we saw a really good performance there yesterday, and then today, obviously, it was actually hanging in there better, and now we've got the market coming down, and it sold off a good.
Well, and you get the wormhole thing, which is just bad press. It's not like, ooh, Solana is something less now. It's just bad code on one element of the thing. And I mean, I think wormhole is not just one small thing. It's a pretty big thing, but it's a sick dip. I was looking at the chart and I was like, this thing's probably going to pull back to 100. And that's where you if it holds there, you giddy up and go. Exactly. I FOMO'd in here. Look, this is what I saw in Solana. And I don't hold any anymore. I did have a trailing stop on it just because I didn't trust the market this morning. Now I feel like that's a dip I should have just added, but we'll see. But look here. This is your telltale sign. Take notes, folks. We talk about this all the time, but you're coming in, you make a lower low in price. I don't have to check. I know that there was a higher low in momentums because there was just across the board last week. And so you get selling, hard selling, then you get a new low, then you get divergences in all your momentum indicators making higher lows, suggesting that the momentum is gone on that move down. That's probably the end of the move. Not always, but it probably is. And then you get these two fat buyback volumes. And now you can start getting into things like buying the next little reload zone right here. How sweet a little entry that is. But the sell volume here drying up through this little consolidation, and then suddenly there's just this burst of buy volume. I missed, the perfect setup. I wasn't watching this, whatever, but I FOMO'd in at like $100 right here. I saw it breaking. I was like, fuck. I think high time frame. I think we're back up into here. So yeah, I cut it at like 106 this morning. The rest hit at like 105, 104 and a half, and we're basically back to 103. It was a nice little profit, and that's kind of just it's not perfect. It's not how I want to trade, but it's profitable, and I'd like to fill here because I think aside from the momentary dips on this kind of stuff right now, this all looks midterm bottomy to me. You sometimes see it here, but you didn't have all the same markers here.
Yeah.
What's the key difference here, Rob? We just talked about it. What's the difference between these two consolidations?
Green volume looks better lately. Yeah.
And that's it. And that's the difference. And that's what you really want to look for. You're going to get, you're going to get whatever you're going to get. I want to get in when there's buyers, big buyers that are saying, we're putting our foot down here. We're putting $500 million into Solana, whatever. I don't know how to measure how much friggin' was bought on these volume bars, but I want to get long with them. So when I see them show up, I'm thinking long. Out of my scalp right now, but maybe I'm buying back. We'll see. We'll see what overnight looks like. I'd really like to see the whole fucking market come down a little more.
Yeah.
Into this kind of thing, and then I want to get really buy-y.
Yeah. No, I'm getting the warm and fuzzies from Solana again. I really am. I think the Solana Pay thing, we don't even know how much transaction volume they're going to do. USDC, we know, like Jeremy Allaire, he loves Solana. Like Solana is making USDC viable. USDC on Ethereum right now, as good as it's done, it is not fucking viable. Like it's just not. So Jeremy, he loves Solana USDC, and they are going to put what they've got behind it because that is a real payment mechanism, plain and simple. And yesterday, like I just advised you, read up on Solana Pay. It's
I've got it here. I don't know what it is. I figure it's, you know, probably a little dusty to start, V1, beta, whatever, maybe not. But I'm excited at the idea of merchant payments. You know, I want to go around to places where I do business and suggest that they take crypto, that they accept crypto. And their question is like, well, I wouldn't even know where to start. If I could just give them a brochure and send them to a hotline to call Solana Pay and get set up, like that's going to really set fire to merchant payments using crypto. And I'm all for that.
They will. I feel like, you know, you can't buy Solana, but or Solana Pay, but some of these big platforms are going to be using Solana Pay. And
well, not everything needs a token. You know, you can be bullish on the infrastructure and find ways to catch a proxy. You know, like, okay, if USDC is way more liquid and everyone can spend money on it, like who's going to benefit from that? And like find a token, whatever. But yeah, some of these plays, the crypto card I use, the token is mediocre. I'm not even going to mention it right now. It's just not doing anything, but I love it. You know, I can tap my card anywhere and I load it with whatever crypto I want and I swap it to Tether and, you know, it works great. And I was thinking about it today, actually. I checked my balance. I hadn't used it in a while since the Miami trip. And I was like, oh, shit. Like, I've still got some cash in there. I should go for dinner now that there's no lockdown. But, like, they don't need a token. But it works great. I think Solana Pay is going to be the same way.
Yeah. I will tell you, I am my vigor is renewed when I look at this payment stuff because the writing's on the wall there. I mean, it's going to happen, and I think Solana is definitely in the running for having one of the best, cheapest solutions for moving, USDC. And
yeah.
I mean, listen,
they like AVAX too, apparently. They moved native USDC over there.
Yeah, no, but AVAX not
it's
as
still
cheap as Solana.
No, it's not. It's very immature still to even swapping USDC to USDCE, which is their bridge stablecoin. It's not very liquid. It's still very young, but yeah, I think Solana. I don't know. I already feel dumb in walking through what I just did with it, where I kind of bought the breakout, locked in a profitable stop loss, and it hit. And now I'm like, I don't know. You know, should I be already getting into sort of that DCA, not just on Bitcoin and ETH, but maybe a little Solana and AVAX on this kind of a dip? I think so. Solana looks a lot better right here than AVAX. It's been going down further longer than AVAX. So maybe I talked myself into getting that back. I don't know, maybe not. Maybe they both look good and all this thinking, I don't know. Every time I talk to you, I get so bullish and I go buy shit and then I look at it for a week and it comes into my real entry down below. I'm like, damn it, Rob. Timelines. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But
dude,
TLDR.
Bottom line,
yeah.
I just am bullish for the future. This is no timeline stuff. All I can say is long term, I think it's never been a more optimistic time for this stuff. Doesn't mean you go ape into it all right now, but
yeah,
I do think that
have a plan.
Yeah, better to ape when it's down 40-60%. I mean,
yeah,
how many people literally I was getting calls off the hook for people wanting to buy Solana when it was $220. It's $100 now. And I was being told I was dumb for for my sells, which in retrospect were early and late, or not early, or sorry, super early and never perfect. But yeah,
look, I'm not feeling the same kind of MERP that I was in 2018. And I think a lot of people, and this is something we should talk about, it's kind of interesting, but a lot of people are saying, well, see, I knew it was a bear market because January was a terrible month. And now they're extrapolating that to okay, here we go again, 2-year bear. And I find that for my own sake, I'm like, that seems less likely. it makes a lot of sense. But what psyops, you know, what a beautiful thing to just convince the world to sell through that first month. So comfortable knowing that everything's going to go down for 2 years and they can just buy it back. I find that thinking uncomfortable. And so I think I'm with you in that sense. Like this kind of throwback here, it's definitely good enough for me to just buy a little. It's below where I stopped out earlier today, so I don't feel too bad if I buy it a little back, just because, you know what, the best trade I made last year really was all of that Solana depression mid-July. And the reason I made those trades, they don't fit my usual setups, is because I didn't really care. I was like assuming they'd keep going down, but I was like, I'm just going to DCA. And so for 3 weeks I bought, or 2 weeks, I bought like a chunk of like 6 different Solana projects. And then the next week I bought another chunk of each of them. And they ended up just being absolutely fucking perfect. And I need to do more of that. I need to really learn from what worked because you know me, man. I'll overthink it and I'll end up buying higher. So yeah, maybe I do want to do a little DCA-ing.
Yeah.
But nibbles so that when it goes down 50% from here, if it does, you don't second guess yourself and try to then cut and go lower. Like you just sit there and go, I can ride this.
Yeah.
Because I'm with you. My confidence on whether this will be higher, new all-time highs within a couple of years is so high.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, let's get to the chat. I see some requests coming in. I know you are a big fan of, you know, connecting with the audience, getting some requests in. I am as well. So let's maybe look at some of this stuff, some of these charts. Is there any bright spots out there, guys? I know there's always a bull somewhere, but I'll be hard pressed to want to buy anything that's not sitting down in a depression kind of RLZ right now. Like I'm not buying the thing that's mooning. I'm going to buy the shit that's been dumping for 4 months, but because I'm backwards. I don't know. Some people say buy the thing that's still going up in the bear because it's strength. I'm just like, nah, there's dips everywhere. I'm not buying the pump.
The pump.
The pumps. What are you seeing? I saw somebody request quant. How's my homie QNT doing? I passed on it all last year because it seemed way inflated. Well, it was inflated. Well, let's go see if it's in the zone. I think it is. Ooh. Now look at that. Come on, folks. If you just wait to buy stuff at the 786s, 702s is my spot, but I know a guy who only buys 786s. He's like, I don't care what it is. If it's at the 786, let me know. Well, maybe he needs to go pick up some quant. I should go tell him about this one. It's a sweet tag.
I'm going to have to do research on that one. I don't even know what they do.
Apparently it's really dope. Yeah, somebody got me into it mentally. They were like talking about it, all that during this. Right here, actually, on stream last year, somebody was like, dude, you know, told me all about it. And I, of course, was like, well, I can't. It's not in my zone. And then it went on to go crazy, and I felt a little silly. It like 4x'd. Well, now I think I might be ready. Certainly, like this is kind of that zone where you're like, if I can't chip $5 at it right now, like when am I going to do that? You know, 2% of your portfolio at most, maybe 0.5%. Honestly, 0.25%. My Solana summer DCAs, it was 0.25%, but it was into like 6 things, and it's painless. It ends up, you know, whatever, 5, 10, 20xing, and you're like, now it's 5%. Boom.
Let's look at FTT. We've had nothing but good.
Oh no!
Good stuff out of that.
Which one?
FTT.
FTT, the homie. Yeah. Osiris is feeling that deep pain. He says he bought this thing at 20 to 30 cents in 2019. Thought he was a genius when he sold it at $3, and he's having a really hard time stomaching that decision he made. Like buying it down here, selling it up here. Hey. So here's why you have to have a trade plan, because that's a beautiful trade, period. But if you're all over the map, you don't really have a plan, not saying you don't, but if in the times that I don't, if you're just, you look at everything you did in the past and you'll say, I could have done better. But if you have a plan and you execute it, that's a sick trade, dude. 6x, 8x. And if you can't enjoy an 8x, you're going to have a really shitty time in the markets. You've got to start to celebrate your wins. And then reflect. Ask yourself, why didn't I buy this dip? Why did I sell it at $3? What can I do better next time? There's going to be another one. Guarantee you, somewhere in the world, there's going to be another one. I bet the best blockchain has not even been invented yet. So, eyes open, moving forward. Okay, sorry. A little teachery there. But yeah, don't beat yourself up, man. Be blessed that was the issue you're having, because there are other things you can do. Oh, got some spammers. Best girls in the world. I kind of doubt it. I feel like you wouldn't have to advertise them in our humble YouTube chat if they were the best.
Right.
They would advertise themselves.
It's almost it's not. Where does this need to go to confirm your reversal? It's got to go above the
midpoint that it just made. Yeah. So look, you got to get a trend line break. Now, this is really good example here why you don't trust the trend line breaks like this. Unless there's a W on the other side of the trend line. Now, I don't always wait for those, as you guys know, but Brian Beamish, my teacher, he would say, that's why you should. He'd slap me on the wrist. He'd say, bro, that's why. Because you get all frothy and bullish up here, and then it's just boom. Trend line still intact. So right now we've got the breakout. I would want to see any kind of pullback here, and then we're going to have to break this midpoint. Once we get that is like this downtrend is over. It's a thing of the past. And that doesn't mean we just go straight up, but that means that any dips for me are for buying. So what I'd actually like is to see something like that afterwards. So we could flag out here. We just have to close a daily now above $45. And we're cooking with grease, and we're probably heading up here at the very least, if not new highs. But like there's a trade just from here to here that I'll probably take separately, maybe even on perps. Because I've got a big old spot position, as you know, from this resistance. Or no, this one, even worse, down in December 8th. It's like, fuck it. Rob's bullish. I'm bullish. I've waited long enough. I'm in. And I staked it. And happy to say I'm exactly break even.
Okay.
But look at this. Look at this sick Wyckoff check. You get the big fat W breakout. So many times in markets that level gets touched. And so many times when it does get touched, it's the best entry. And look at this fucking thing. $31.
Yep.
Someday I'll trade those things. Most of the time I don't get the right time frame when I'm looking at stuff. But that's the sexy thing about trading, right? Think about this. Where are you going to be? I mean, you're already kind of a vet. How many years have you been doing this?
And what is it? I started on the floor of the CBOE January 2nd, 2001. So 21 years and 1 month. Damn. Yeah.
I was 14 buying my first bag of weed at high school, grade 9. Wow. So you kind of get it then. You'll relate. But basically what I was going to say is what excites me is that because of the way I approach the market and the idea that I'm constantly just learning and, breaking down what I fucked up and trying to fix it, I just get excited thinking about like, damn, where am I going to be in 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years? I'm going to be like, man, back in 2022 when I used to just rush into entries way before the Wyckoff checks, and I'll just be ripping Wyckoff checks everywhere. Like, who knows? I don't know. It's nice to think about. If you guys have a process that will improve yourself over time, that atomic habits kind of, then you get to look forward into all that stuff.
Man, we got Stoyan in the chat saying most of the chat was not even born back then.
Yeah.
Feeling like a boomer.
I'm going to drop therationalinvestor.com in the chat because somebody asked where they want to learn how to trade. Look, dude, I don't have a school. If somebody's asked me before, I don't, but that's where I learned, and you should check it out. It's dope. Next term's not till May, so no big rush, but highly recommend it. Look, yeah, FTT looks good. Enough said.
Yeah. How about it? What was strong for a while was let's look at Cosmos. Let's look at Atom. I mean, it showed kind of superhuman strength during the first leg of this macro sell-off, and it's come back to earth a little bit, but Anything looking sexy to you there about this?
Okay, let's look. This is Coinbase's chart in honor of you. I know you like to look at Coinbase. I always think of you when I think of Adam. Let's get a fresh chart. I mean, look, it's trending up. It's doing its slow, greasy, gradual thing. I would imagine that that's somewhat in line with wallet growth and user growth and transaction volume. I still don't know what the token's use case is, which makes me a little uncomfortable. I think everything I use on Cosmos, it's paid for by Secret Token. It's paid for by AKT or NGM, like all the little tokens I've held over there. I don't need Atom for anything. So I don't know, other than like validators. But I heard that's sort of changing with this IBC bridge. I don't know. I need to read more white papers, I guess, because it's about time I learned this shit. But yeah, it's in the PCZ. It's coming off of here. I would be inclined actually to just look at this, get an even closer range, because we did just kind of have like a big higher time frame range. So now we can get in here. Bulls are probably going to want to see a reversal here and then get into like, one of my favorite little patterns.
I'll tell you, one of the most talented,
it's best case,
brilliant, smartest developers I know, gentleman by the name of Armani Ferranti. If you're not following him on Twitter, you definitely should.
I am, and I saw him tweet today. Let's give him a shout.
He's just
I saw him tweet a lot more lately.
Great dude, but he's been digging around on his own time into Cosmos, and he tweeted something today about it being the leader in asynchronous.
Yes, that's the one that
I don't know. Armani is a wizard, so he's on to something there, in my opinion, and it just makes me more.
Yeah, the majority of asynchronous blockchain transactions will eventually route through Cosmos. I read that this morning, and I thought to myself, okay, like, show me where the Atom token comes in, because I want to be bullish on it. And I've had a hard time picking it up. I keep reminding myself that I should have picked it up every time it makes these highs, and each time it's a good thing I didn't FOMO in because they keep being the high. But I'm going to pick up some Atom because I think they will fold a use case into it.
Yeah.
And then you got guys like that. These are the breadcrumbs, guys. Ladies and gentlemen watching, these are the breadcrumbs that guys like Rob, shooters, they spot. You spot somebody who's smart, who's not a whole, particularly large following. Well, 17.5. Okay, Armani. My bad. I hadn't actually looked, but, not a big noisy, mouthpiece influencer, but.
No, he is literally probably one of the top 5 most brilliant programmers in all of crypto. I mean,
sick. Okay. See, I sat down with you and him for dinner, and I had no idea I was sitting in that kind of company. Fuck.
Oh, dude, Armani is.
We had a really good chat that night too, but
a legitimate wizard.
That's awesome.
And couldn't be a nicer human.
I got that vibe for sure. Yeah, we sat at that place in Miami, and it was a nice, really good feels. Okay, cool.
He is class act and just so brilliant and hungry and listens and learns and he's amazing. So
look, guys, let's throw him a few follows here. Yeah. Rob said enough.
Yeah. But
keep going. not to cut you off.
No, you saw that tweet today too. I mean,
yeah.
He's I think he likes the tech. So
look, let's I pulled this up earlier. Actually, I saved it over here. But the Wormhole network was exploited. They're acknowledging that, and then they're saying that ETH will be added over the next hours to ensure that the backing is maintained. I would assume that they're going to patch that exploit first. So, update on the recent Wormhole exploit. We're fucked. That's a meme. That's not them. But yeah, so it sounds like everyone can relax. And that's great news for anyone, who's buying the panic dip on those things, because you often get that, right? Oh, something bad happened. And then the update comes shortly after and everyone's like, oh, it's going to be fine. And then, so we'll see.
Yeah. Well,
TLDR, Adam, a little little lower or in a different direction for me, one or the other.
Yeah, it doesn't
Doesn't
look great. I guess
looks like shit. I'm just gonna say it, but
yeah.
But I am bullish on it, and I think that this push up, in the midst of what was a really gross month of January, should not be ignored. And so this dip becomes, maybe this is my DCI dip. Maybe I just need to go and take a quarter of my, 1/4% of my portfolio and just put it into like 10 names that I know I'm going to be pissed if I didn't buy any of them during the bear market. And then I have my little bags, and I'll just start those positions now and stop overthinking it.
Yeah,
we'll see. Stay tuned. I might do that. We'll decide tonight.
Yep.
With a drink in hand. Sometimes you need a drink to buy these dips. These are dark ass dips. Just give me one scotch. I'll buy some dips.
Agreed.
Yeah. What else are you seeing? Let's get a couple more in. It is top of the hour. We started late, so we're going to end late. But we are getting there. So let's see. MATIC. I haven't heard that name in a while.
We call that Polygon now, don't we?
Yeah, the old Polygon there, bud. That chart makes it look gross. We can do better. Let's get some goddamn support in here.
Get rid of that arbitrary diagonal line. Throw in some horizontal support.
Yeah, let's get some support. There's enough resistance going on right now. Look, there's some support. So we did just.
This is something about technical analysis that always gets me. Honestly, you can put charts and all this in like different presentations that can honestly make you feel like psychologically and emotionally better than others. Yes. And that's the thing that I don't know. It always is lingering for me.
Where it just becomes bullshit and you're like, show me the order flow, show me the fundamentals, because look, that's why I think Twitter is terrible. Like, I always knock it, like social media, just because you're going to get this person's bias expressed on the chart. But look, yes and no. And I'll say this, yes, only yes. You're absolutely right. You can totally flip it to your bias. But the trend is the trend. And so it's really about picking time frames. Now, this is what will drive you nuts, especially new to technical analysis. Let's go to the weekly. And you say, okay, well, we've got a trend. Well, what is the trend? Clearly, the trend is up.
Higher lows and higher highs.
Higher highs. This is a higher low. That's an uptrend, period. And then you say to somebody else who's a bear, you say, what trend is it on the daily?
Broken structure.
Yeah, we did. We broke the structure on the daily. It's a downtrend. Bing, right there. Downtrend. Bing, retest. Fail. That's a downtrend. And we've just put in a lower high. And the debate is out. Are we doing a higher low, which is what I think and hope? And then we move, and that's a new trend reversal. Or are we just trending down? And that'll drive people nuts because they're both right. And so it's less about, following other people. It's more about doing your own thing consistently over time and nailing it and, making $3-4 every time you risk $1. Like that's trading. And that's why you can't copy trade. And that's why TA pisses a lot of people off. But look at this. We got nice support here. Breakout, retest, confluent with this nice trend line that is very poorly drawn. So maybe I'm wrong. Oh God. Oh, never mind. Take it off. Burn it all. I don't know where that trend line came from. Who did that?
That was when, remember, you bought it and then sold it too quickly right before it mooned?
Yeah. Oh, God. Look at this. This is... I thought we were looking at Adam. This is this is MATIC. Yeah. God, why would you say that? Why would you bring that up?
Well, that was the trend line.
It's true. Okay, so this was February when we were talking about this being my favorite pick of the week.
Yeah.
Two weeks in a row. And then, yeah. Hey, I made a chunk off it. A good trade. I sold some there. I got out of the rest of my position there. And then I looked back and said, why?
You just said 20 minutes ago, you can never scoff at an 8X.
I know. That's right? Thank you. Thank you for catching me on that, calling my bullshit. And I didn't. I did always end my story of pain with, but it was a good trade. But so my point was to the other guy earlier is what can I learn from this? Right. And what I learned from it, which I then applied to Solana later in the year, was like, have a moon bag. You know, get out of that shit when it's like, wait, because it usually gets a little crazier than you ever expect.
But look at now, zoom back into that lower part. It did there. Like,
I know this was crazy.
That's another thing about charts.
Scale, yeah.
Just by pinching and drying, it's like you're like, whoa, that's a little different story there.
Yeah, let's turn the replay on and tell me that this is not already mooning.
Exactly. That thing went parabolic.
It went parabolic multiple times. And then it's about scale, right? So like, look at this thing. You're like, oh yeah, I'd be stupid not to pay myself. Like, come on. And it was a great trade. And that was the end of it. And if there's a mistake, it's either I didn't have a moon bag or I just never looked back. You know, this breakout, easy to dissect, but a lot of this is like football, right? You get to the NFL, you're going to go to the tape room, we're going to watch some tapes, we're going to watch the defensive plays, we're going to get ready for next game. Yeah. And I look back at this, I say, okay, well, this was pretty interesting. Does that look like a top, or does that look like cooling off, for the next leg? And then where can we find a little bit of evidence of that? Well, we can see the buyers stepping in bigly in the middle of this. Yeah, I could have looked back at it. I was kind of, I was focused on other things. I'd already had my MATIC fun. Well, and then it goes, whatever, like another few X, 5X, whatever.
All right.
So, yeah, no, trading is about missing out. That's what I've discovered. It's more about missing out than it is about catching things. That's it. For every fucking great trade you ever make, you're going to miss 10. Unless you try to catch everything, in which case you're not going to make too many great trades. And making peace with that is a big part of it. It's a very psychological game. Got to have your head straight for this shit.
You do.
Which reminds me, I got to hit the gym. The gym's just opened up again around here, and I've just been like trying to get out of the house. So tomorrow, best day to work out is always tomorrow.
Yes.
So we're gonna do that.
True.
Yeah.
You know
Art
what?
Patron, welcome, man. We appreciate you. Period. Thank you. Sorry.
So, I've talked about one the last couple weeks after we noticed some weird action in the spot market was Kyber Network, and it's still KNC still outperforming pretty much every other coin of the last month.
Look at that. Yeah.
It
follow the
really,
volume.
I mean, if you look at it compared to other stuff, it's
like KNC ETH.
Something is going on there. Somebody is buying the hell out of it, or there's just something is going on. I don't know what, but the amount of spot buying that takes place on Coinbase just tells me that.
Yeah, look at it versus ETH.
Somebody needs to own it or really loves it.
It's outperforming ETH for the last little bit. And ETH's been outperforming Bitcoin. So yeah, I think it's probably one of the top. I want to get one of those fun charts with like the 1,000 lines on it and then all the colors, and you can see which one stands out. I got to get one of those. I've seen it. I've seen the template. I think I even had it at one point, but I don't have it anymore. But that's a really cool bit of data, and maybe I'll make that I'm not going to write it down now, but a to-do list item for like this lull in the market where I can just build some nice charts.
Yeah.
Fucking love that shit.
You know what? Sometimes I like to. We looked at the go to like the Coinbase 4-hour KNC just against USD.
Yeah.
You see that?
Yeah.
That spike there. So we see the volume that's coming in here with the volume bars. Check out the is it listed on Binance?
Yeah.
So let's see, like, obviously you've got cross-exchange arbing that's going to take place. So, but
it was less.
Is the buy, but still, like,
yeah, no, but that's why usually the arbs usually are just less overall, but it still moves it. But see, that's why I had this on here, because look, that's a 36% move, right? Peaked at $1.61, or $1.61, and then you go here, it peaked at $2.48. It was an insane move. It was like a 2x. So that's where we decided that day. We were talking about this a few weeks ago, and it was like, yeah, that was definitely a Coinbase buy.
Just wonder. It's like they want the physical, they want the spot. They just want the coins. They're gobbling up the coins.
Yeah, what is it's a swap kind of DEX thing. Like maybe they're going to be backing something hyper liquid. They want to be super liquid. I don't know.
I don't know either. Or somebody wants it. Yeah, it's like
somebody look into it.
Is it a DAO play? Is someone trying to buy it for some other purpose? Like, but it's been super strong, and that has continued.
Take note. I mean, yeah, this is one where it's like, okay, it's not even that far out of range, right? So earlier I said I don't like to buy the strength in the bear, like not. It's just that I don't want to buy the thing that's mooning, but this is showing significant strength in the sense that, you know, it's a significant amount of difference from everything else. Yeah, it's got a little trend line. It's working around here, but like,
well, it's the same.
It's still in the RLZ. It's right next to it.
It's the same exercise I do all the time on a red day.
Yes.
What are the green tickers in my watch list?
Look for the breadcrumbs from the bulls. Yeah.
And like lately, it's just, why is KNC one of them all the time lately? I don't know, but someone's buying the hell out of it. Yeah. That could end tomorrow. That's always the
yeah. And they filled their bags.
The relative strength can literally turn whenever. So
not knowing anything, how would I play this? Well, like, you know, we see this. I don't know what the fuck they're doing, but I might want to get on board, and I'll just do my fib thing, because we're not in a FOMO market. We're not in a market where I have to worry about this thing shooting off 3x tomorrow. At least I'm not going to worry about that. But like, yeah, if it's just going to be boring again for a bit and come into here, like now I can get a setup, right? Now I can apply everything we just talked about to say, okay, I can manage risk 14%. And if this thing breaks out of these highs here, that admittedly are a little diagonal, but if it breaks out of this little range, I mean, I can probably at least get $3, but what I'd be really looking for is something like a chaos level. That's always the ultimate, and that's going to really blow your mind. That'll be up here. So this is a really nice consolidation. It's got all the vibe. You're making me bullish on this. I want to look into it though, because my hate on this or knock on it is that it's just never had much of a use case, but clearly something's brewing.
I am not doing enough research on that part of Kyber network right now. So this is just literally stuff that a gorilla like me who looks at order books and lines on charts is like, and staring at watch lists to see what's outperforming. You know, like, I don't know what the hell Kyber's doing right this second.
Oh God. Do you see what Osiris said in the chat? This guy's bringing me back. Stoyan says, KNC was my first ICO. It was one of my first. I was in the KNC ICO. Osiris saying most of his old coins died or rugged. He's wondering if his Dragon Chain score is really high by now. And all the feels. I had Dragon Chain, ICX, KNC. They were really fun. And that's when I learned not to be a holder. It was during the bear market and the shit that I had to eat that I said, I'm going to learn how to trade. I'm sick of being the market's bitch. And when I see a downtrend or a bear trend, I want to have the wherewithal to get out. And when I see it flip bull again, I want to. So if you're all wondering, it was a lot of pain that drove me towards becoming a trader.
I do love it. We get, you know, talking about coins that maybe aren't like the hottest, newest shit right now. You get a lot of blowback in the chat about like Dino coins. Like, why the fuck are you talking about Kyber network? I don't know. Why the hell is someone buying the hell out of it on Coinbase? I don't know. Why is it outperforming everything right now?
You want to talk about Dino coins? Let's have a real good look at SIS.
Oh, you bring this up all the time.
Cause look, look at it. Wow. It's a miraculous coin. You talk about Dino coins. I mean, this is why any coin is worth chatting about, because this thing was a dead Dino fossil for like 3 years. And
these things are like never expiring options.
Yeah. So this was a good example of like, if it's building, if it's growing, if there's something there, but it's just a depressed market, don't sleep on it. Don't wait for somebody on Twitter to tell you to buy something, because they all get fired up about their shit when it's up here. Every time it's up here. I'll give you a good example of that. And this one made me uncomfortable. I didn't touch it. I didn't tweet about it. I should have. because I was just sitting there like, please don't ever buy this shit. But you remember Platypus a couple weeks ago? You remember that? Like on Twitter?
I don't know that one.
You don't probably have the same kind of AVAX following kind of list that I do. This thing was such bullshit. Now, I'm not. Yeah,
dude, that is the chart from that whatever you brought up earlier. The whole cycle, isn't it? This is
except for this took like a week, and it gave me the heebie-jeebies. It was a weekend. I think was it the 14th? Oh God, it's February. Yes. Yeah, it was a Friday. So Friday the 14th, it starts to move. And it was just like everyone's at home. The market's bearish. Nobody knows what to do with themselves. And then everyone and their grandma started tweeting about PTP. I'm comfy. Ooh, bought a bag, staked it, comfy. I'm so comfy. I'm like, bro, why are you comfy?
Right.
This fucking thing came out of nowhere in one day after basically a month of being dormant. And everyone's now buying like a, whatever it was, 10X and talking about staking it in their comfy. But I was, that's a 900% in a day and a half. And it was curve wars, CVX, all this hype. And I admittedly got some FOMO. So I went and looked into it. And instantly I was just like, hell no, that thing's going to be so inflationary. Everyone's like, yeah, but if you lock, you lose your boost score. I was like, cool, your boost score is not going to matter when it drops 40%. You're going to unlock, which you can do, and you're going to dump it. And everyone's going to dump on your head. It's going to be a rush to the exit. This was the conversation I had in one of the chats that I frequent, and we didn't touch it, but fucking rug, dude. I mean, that's not like, it's probably there doing its thing. Power to him. But forgot why I went on that big rant. But there's an example of whatever it was.
Man,
I don't know. What was it? The rant was basically like, oh yeah, don't follow shit on Twitter because the hype is always coming in when it's not the right time to buy. Not to say like something mentioned on Twitter is unbuyable always, but you got to learn to feel it. You can feel it in your stomach when something is just not right. So it's like the edge is gone. When every one of your replies guys are, yelling at you saying you're dumb because you didn't buy, get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Or, look for an exit. It gets uncomfortable. So that was an example there. KNC is not that case, man. I want this dip. Oh, baby. I'm putting an alert at 154.54. Let's do it. I don't want to miss this one. I have a soft spot for it. I was in the ICO for 3 Ethereum.
Instead of putting an alert, and why don't you fucking throw a bid in that?
Throw a bid in there. All right. Well, I don't have my account up. Is it? Oh, you know what? Oh, that got really Canadian really fast. Does it? I doubt it trades where I'm trading. Oh, it does. There's a spot market on FTX. Okay. Don't know why that's a secret, but okay. You know what? Yeah.
Nice.
I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Everyone's going to know my bid. 154.54. Let's make it that many. But you're not going to know how many. But I'm buying.
I hope you don't get filled. And this goes
Thanks. Thanks, bud. No, I appreciate that. Because if this fills, that's a tiny amount. If this fills, I'm going to get in there and get even greasier and see if I can maybe, like, that's a fill. Maybe I get some fills through here. And it just, look at this. This looks easy. This was December 9th. This is January 29th. So have fun sitting around for a month, guys. I mean, I'm probably not getting filled till mid-February. But that's okay. I'm going to forget that I ever set that bid. The alert will remind me. And maybe April, May, we have an alt rally and KNC announces something cool. I don't know. That's usually how it goes.
Something's going to come out there. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. They'll do something. Maybe a new token model. I don't know. Who knows?
Liv says AVAX coins. Yeah. Well, look, they need to iterate something. Or do they? Because they had the hype cycle, then they had the sort of let's find fair value according to the market, and now they're just in this big fat kind of uptrend. I mean, if it's like boom, 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 and if they come out of here with new highs, there's nothing wrong with their tokenomics, and they're just growing their network, and that's actually probably how it's supposed to go. But we all like this stuff. So, anyways, that's a weird looking carrot. Let's ask Liv W. He says, AVAX coins have been doing pretty well recently. Show me one. What's been doing well? I want to see some of my babies. And we're going to look at multi while you answer that because there's a 20-second delay. I like multi. Have you looked at multi?
I have not.
Damn it, where is it? Is it just called multi-chain? Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Oh, okay. This chart, see, it's funny because this chart looks good. Any, which is what any swap turned into multi, a little different. It's like it's already 100x'd, but I mean, this thing was like a penny a year ago. It's at $20 now, but multi is just this multi-chain swap, cross-bridge, cross-chain swaps basically, and bridging. And there's some buzz about whether or not there will be a fee share. And they've just done sort of like a one-to-one swap over from any to multi. The liquidity is all still on any. So I wouldn't, swap to multi if you plan to trade it a lot. But somebody just mentioned it. And the reason it's interesting is because the volume that they're doing, I should just pull up, but the volume they're doing is incredible. So if there is a fee share, some of the numbers I've seen are impressive. Let's pull it up. Fuck it. We'll do it live.
I love that's one of my stuff.
Total volume, 54 billion. TVL on this thing, 30 chains, 1,500 tokens, 7 billion TVL. So, it's a big income potential. I don't have the details on exactly, definitely 100% yes, stake and you'll get paid income in a token that's not, vegetable, but that's the buzz I'm hearing. So yeah, I do have a bit of this.
Trade.
What's up?
Where does this thing trade?
Yeah, you can buy it. We'll check live. Let's go see. I think any is probably more liquid, any swap. And it's
or at Trader Joe's.
Trader Joe's, no, it's on Phantom, it's on Sushi, it's everywhere. It's on Binance. It's a big coin, and he got a lot of listings this year. Probably want to stick to the top few here. One thing to always check is this: check those depths. That's your liquidity, right? So I just want to look for the one that's the most liquid. So probably Sushi Swap on ETH, and it's at $20. I think that's about where it was when I discovered it. I was late in this move, if you will. I think I bought it here and then shit myself and then rewarded myself with a high five, and now I'm back to just bored. But it's hard to look at this from here at $1 and be like, I'm going to get in and now it'll 100x for me. But I think it's a strong play, and if I can stake it and get paid and everyone else can, then maybe it just kind of trickles up for a long time. Maybe they announce some burning. I don't know. There's things that can happen when you have that kind of fundamental, which is, this is a great place to start a trade. Massive user base, massive exposure, monstrous volume. Like, let's start a trade with something like that. So thank you for bringing that up, sir or madam. Forget Patrick. Yeah, definitely sir in this case. Patrick McNamara. I'm going VE soon. Okay, I would love to hear a bit more about that, but that's sort of the buzz I was hearing. Actually, Messi mentioned it to me. He said he likes this one. So he's the one who got me onto it, which is usually the case with DeFi.
What do they call you? A Canuck?
Canuck. Yeah.
Someone said he hears your Canadian accent.
Oh, yeah. Well, I like to throw it out there a little extra sometimes there.
That's a mixture of Canada and Scotland or Ireland?
Yeah. I mean, we get these Canadians or Acadians out east. But what's funny? The most Canadian sounding fuck I've ever hung out with was this guy from Wisconsin. So
yeah,
they've got a really, and if you guys ever want to hear what it sounds like, watch Fargo, which by the way is also just a badass show, Coen Brothers kind of stuff. And it's gruesome, but it takes place in the winter, so you gotta kind of be ready for that. It's a little cold. But the accents in that kill me. It's like, thought I'd go down there, take a look at that there crime scene, and maybe come in for coffee or something. And I met a guy, and he was working as a hockey staff at the summer camp I was working at down in the States, as it turns out. And so I assumed he was Canadian because it was very much like, the waterfront was all Australians and the Canadian running the hockey thing and all American guys running basketball. And so I go to the hockey rink, and this guy, and I'm chatting with him for hours. And then I was like, "Where are you from?" And he's like, "Oh, from Wisconsin." I was like, "No, that's an American accent. That's awesome." Oh, Minnesota. That's where it was. Damn it.
Minnesota.
Okay.
Yeah.
Minnesota. That's the one. Kind of same thing, aren't they? Close. It's a lot of that.
Go.
Yeah. Weirdly, fun fact, I'm actually south of them. Toronto is south of a lot of the states. So people are like, "Is it cold up there?" I was like, "I don't know. Why don't you fucking ask the other half of your country, bud?" Yeah. I'm south of half you fucks. So anyways, we have fun.
Over to Timmy Horton.
Let's look at Frax. Got off topic there. This is like, sometimes I don't know. How are you feeling about, like, you got to take your positives, right? So the inertia's out of the market. It's not like every day you're feeling like you're staying poor because you missed another rally. Like, I don't know. We can joke around a bit more. Are you enjoying that bit? Because I kind of am. I mean, you still work your ass off, but
I always like to joke around a bit.
Yeah, no,
that's just, even like the most intense trading days in the pits and stuff, we'd be a little bit of joking around, a little bit of humor.
I think sometimes we're almost like shit posting on the stream when it's like, especially in a quiet market. The stream's a little quieter. Somebody pointed out earlier, they said, it's a bear market when there's only 100 guys watching. And we're hovering around 108. We appreciate every one of you guys. So if you're here and you like what we're putting out, despite the Canadian accent, hit us up with a like.
Smash the like button.
Look at this. This is funny. I was talking to another analyst that I work with, and he was shilling me on Frax right here. And he's like, I hate to say it because it's breaking out to new highs, but blah, blah, blah. This is something we should be long on. And I said, no fucking chance. I love it. It could be the next big thing. I'm not ever going to buy that, even though it looks great. Well, fuck, it was the exact high. Now I should call him up and be like, okay, let's talk. Are we still bullish?
Mm-hmm.
Because I like this now. This now I can play with. And let this be a lesson, boys and girls. You never chase. You don't have to, see? Something's always going to come back and just fall in your lap. It's usually, with trading, when it's on sale, nobody wants to buy it, ironically.
Yep.
So yeah, Frax looks good. Let's get a little fresh chart now that this flag just faked out the whole world. Let's get a proper zoom out and see if there's anything there. Oh, see, yeah, a little 618. So, I'll be honest. I'd probably either it's like, okay, try to find a higher low here and go, or wait for this to be like, let's get one more low. That's probably what I want to do here. So like, there's a higher low on the momentums. This comes in, makes a lower low. There's a lot of like bullish divergence. That's probably the setup I'm going to wait for, just because I don't know much about Frax. But any average in here, like you say, won't matter if we get up into this stuff next year or later this year. So maybe it's on my DCA list, Rob.
It's a growing list, isn't it?
Well, it's got 4 from today. I mean, I'm excited. No, I'm excited because instead of worrying about shit, I'm just going to take 0.25% of my portfolio, whatever that is. I have to figure it out. It's less than it was last month. I'll tell you that. And I'm going to just go and I'm just going to sprinkle some nibbles. And I'm just going to pick up fucking 10 coins, little tiny bits, and just say, okay. And then in a few weeks, I'm going to do it again. Yeah. And in 6 to 12 months, I'm probably going to be sitting here like, remember all those things I bought in the Depression? Well, they're all up 10x or whatever. Fuck. Yeah, I'm going to do it. They might be. I mean,
and if they're not and they're lower, guess what? You just took 0.25% of your.
Yeah. Well, that's it, right? And that's the key, that 0.25%, because, okay, so I'm putting in 1 or 2%. And then the next couple weeks, I'll put another 1 or 2%. If that gets cut in half, I'm down 2%. But if it 10x's, I'm up a lot. And that's trading. That's this kind of DCA shit that I want to do now, because I am getting a little tired of trying to nail it. I want to go to like what I did in July. It worked well. So
spray and pray.
Yeah, no. Spray and pray is what I did all of last year. Just like that DCA. And I remember this. The way I felt in July last year, DCAing all your Solana faves, is how I kind of feel right now. Where I just looked at everything and I said, okay, one more low. And I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to DCA. And it ended up being the low.
Yeah.
I don't know if it will be this time, but it never feels like it will be. And then it is. So maybe we'll see.
Who knows?
I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to fuck it. I'm sick of guessing. I'm just going to take a little bit, do some nibbles. It's the TRI way. Everyone's always talking about nibble. So I'm going to go back to my roots.
I agree. I think you got to nibble.
Yeah, I'm with you. Nanny Nibbler.
Yeah.
Nibble. All right. You know what, Liv? My friend is on CT. Do you want their thing? Why not? Let's do it. I think it's is it? No. Oh, that's not how you do it. Yeah, you can check him out. He's cool. He works with me. He's one of our analysts, actually. We hired him a couple months ago. He's solid. He really knows his shit. So you can check out at Buffett Theory if you want. He's the guy who we're talking about Frax with. So he loves looking for flywheels, which is a cool word. I think that's probably one of my favorite new words for me. I don't use it much because I don't really know what it is, but find me a flywheel and I'll tell you it sounds bullish.
The hamster wheel?
Yeah. So, okay, let's wrap it up with one or two final thoughts from you.
Man, I know I've been ranting a bit today.
No, I'm trying to push you into the spotlight here. You're who I want to hear from.
I am. I've already expressed my myopic bullishness on Bitcoin, and it doesn't mean that we won't see more pain. This market feels. Everything kind of feels a little ugly to me, but there are buyers of Bitcoin out there. That's for sure. There's obviously sellers too because it's going lower. But I think that the buyers of spot coin are going to have a bigger influence on the market in the next 12 months than anything. And I think the trend is going to continue where we see coins go into cold storage and go into the strongest of hands here, because I'm not super fazed by the tightening of monetary policy ahead of us. I think there's so much more to it than that. So I don't know. Don't get too discouraged here on these bloody red days, and try to be in the position where the down 5-10% days are the best days to buy. I mean, honestly, those are the days you want to be buying, not after you're up 20% in 2 days.
No, and I'm glad you brought that up, because I'm going to cut you off here. That's something I wanted to talk about earlier. The reason why people will lose so much through a bear trend, God, I got to get rid of that chart. It's not very practical, that one, is because if you don't have a plan, right, you tend to react to price, and it's like, okay, gross, but I'm a hodler. I'm not going to, oh shit, okay, sell. This is going to zero. And then through this chop, this is days of green. We've just experienced some days of green. It's very hard to not want to buy it. But the trend is clearly down right now. So what you're saying really about not getting caught up in these little red days as much as there are these little green days, this stuff will eat you up, because just when it convinces you to buy back something you sold in a depressing down red day, it'll be the next red day. Yeah. So TA is about recognizing which red days are different from the others, which green days are different from the others. And in any kind of red we get into here, to me, is different. It's an opportunity for a higher low. There's going to be a few of those, right? We had an opportunity for it here. It failed. Manage risk, you lose $1. $10, $100, but whatever it is, you lose $1 for the 4 that you were trying to make. The next opportunity is in here. And that's across the board. That's going to be on ETH. That's going to be on Solana. I don't know about Luna. This one in general, you know me, I've always had a hard time finding my buys on it. It looks a little grosser than some. But yeah, in here, there's going to be an opportunity for higher low. I'm not going to take that one. But Solana, ETH, BTC, a couple of other names from today. Yeah, I think there's going to be a real op. But just remember this. You're trading counter to the trend. The trend is down. So for all the wisdom I could try to drop and be like, I'm going to get long at the perfect spot, there's other ways to get long, like in uptrends, when the bulls are in clear control, and that could be months away. So no time more than now is it important to know yourself as a trader and have a fucking plan.
Agreed.
So that whatever happens, you know, you've positioned yourself into strength. Okay, 10 MW. You're kind of spamming the chat, bro. I don't know if that's real or not. If the SEC went into X, where would we all focus on X? Yeah, I don't know. We got a spammer in the house. Flattered, but maybe less of that. Yeah. So look, guys, I think that's about it. You can hear, I feel tired. I don't know if I sound tired. I'm going to hit the gym. I just need to go hit the gym this week a lot. I need to get back into the pump. Be the pump you want to see in the world. Yeah, be aggressive with profit taking. That's what I was, you know, buying Solana the other day at 100, FOMOing in, selling it today at 106. Like, okay, not a great trade, but it's good. But I think I'm going to do some DCing. That's my takeaway from today's show. Little nibbles on like 10 coins that I just don't want to miss. Let them be underwater for whatever, and I'll add to them later. But what about you, Rob? What are your takeaways? Final thoughts?
Oh, I don't know. I don't really have a
We're getting
takeaway
spammed
for today.
Getting spammed.
Trying to hold back my long-term bullishness on Bitcoin and a lot of other networks that are going to gain a tremendous amount of value. But it's not, you know, listen, we're trading the NASDAQ now. I mean, we're down 5% today because Facebook had a shitty earnings report.
Yeah, which is funny, right? Like, one stock in this correlated, I guess, a different market though. And it's suddenly news like, crypto's dumping because Facebook dropped. So I don't know. Yeah. It's kind of stupid. Yeah. If we get a higher low, because it is going to come in, right? If we go down there, whether it breaks or not, it'll start off being a higher low until it's not. And if that comes in, the more bullshit that drives that higher low, like some stupid thing that shouldn't really push price, the better. Yep. So if this is going to be it, and we go through, what is it, Wednesday? We'll go through the weekend with some of that bullshit and trickle down into that higher low. Oof. And, you know, if they sweep the lows and then go, I won't be on board. I'm going to get stopped out. That's just the way it's going to be. But whatever you guys do, man, stick around. You know, this market's not going anywhere. Just manage risk, play from strength, and we will be back soon. So appreciate you guys all coming in to see us today. And that's all. So
have a good night, guys.
Waiting for Rob to say goodbye. Okay. That was your cue, Rob. Take us out. All right, guys. Have a great night. Take care, everybody. Oh, my God. My stocks.
What?
I was supposed to talk about stocks. Okay, I'm going to just do it real quick because I never buy stocks. And I realized my stock account is small now. Like, it was always small, but it's like tiny now. So the whole thing, if I blew it, would be like a couple percent. So I'm like, fuck it. I rotated into a couple stocks, a couple of shroom stocks. So just to say I did, I added to this, you know, right in my RLZ, Numi Wellness. It's Canadian. I don't know. It's a mushroom stock. Oregon or something just legalized mushrooms as psilocybin kind of treatments, psychosis, whatever. I think it's going to possibly be a thing. And then what's the other one? I don't even remember it. Oh yeah. Mind something. Fuck. Mind medicine. Yeah. Look at that. So fat volume bar. I don't know. Down here, somebody told me it was another good mushroom one. So those are the two stocks I picked up. Fuckload. Now, I'm not going to look at those for like 2 years. So that's why I bought them. I just like, they're at the lows. They're at the lows fundamentally. I like mushrooms in the next few years if they're going to keep spreading. If they get a chunk of the pharma big
You're a
pharma.
mushroom guy, aren't you? You
I don't really do them, honestly. They freak me out. I did a bunch of them in high school, and now I take some, and I'm just like, oh God, ninjas on the lawn. Everything scares me. So I don't, but I like the microdose. I fuck with them a little bit. So I don't know. I think if you take a slice out of big pharma, there's upside. I don't know anything about these companies. I haven't looked at the fundamentals. Don't shoot me. Don't sue me. There's not a buy signal.
I know
But these are the two. These are the two I bought.
I know a lot of smart kind of doctors and therapists who really believe in psilocybin as therapeutic medicine.
Yeah, I think there's something there, big time. And I also think that the pharmaceutical treatment for depression and anxiety right now is bullshit. I think it's trash. I think it's awful. I've tried some of it. I've read about it. Really good book called Lost Connections. This guy, Lost Connections and Chasing the Scream, 2 really good books, somewhat unrelated, but by the same investigative kind of journalist guy. Anyways, those 2 books. And so the Lost Connections made me realize psilocybin might have a go. He doesn't even talk about it. He just talks about how shit the current pharma is and what the better treatment is. So we'll see. I don't know. 5-10 years. Let's get a nice weed rally in the shrooms. That's what my thesis was anyways. So I bought a couple of stocks. Well, you wake up. You want to fight about it? I don't really look at them. But now I'll be locked in for a year or 2. So we'll see what they're like. Okay, guys. Amir, that was for you, bro. We rolled it back for you because you came to watch today. Okay, guys, whatever you do from now until next time, always play from a position of strength. Take care.
See you.